Right, we're back from our summer holidays and we're going to have a look at fitting this lovely SVO front bumper to our Range Rover L405. So the standard bumper on your car will look something like this, but Land Rover's special vehicle operations team wanted to do something groovier and sportier, so they made this body kit here. So this is a SVO body kit. This will fit any Range Rover L405 from 2013 to when they facelifted it in 2017-18. Okay, so we have done the video of how to remove this bumper, and Ian will do the little pointy thing and we'll link the video there. And then what you're left with is a car that looks something like this one in the workshop here. So we've had to remove the grille and we've removed the bumper. And it's not that bad a job, is it? If you take your time, there's nothing too fiddly. Right. The first thing you'll notice on this bumper that I'm demonstrating here is that we have fitted the fog light and this grille section here. When you get the bumper, whether you buy it from Land Rover or buy a copy one or buy one from us, and we'll put these on the website, it will come as a bare bumper with this big hole, and you'll have this little jigsaw puzzle of bits. So we're going to show you how to fit the jigsaw puzzle, but basically you've got a grille, a front trim, notice the parking sensor holder here, and you've got a rear fog light bracket that allows the fog light to sit behind it and all line up nicely. You'll get a rear tow eye cover, and you will need some fittings to hold the tow eye cover in place, and we'll cover that later.
But you may find that this centre piece, this unpainted bit, you might find that separate. If you've had it taken to the body shop or something, they might have taken that piece out.
Yeah,
so we'll try and cover that bit as well quickly.
That's a separate piece you can take out, yeah, as Ian explained. Right, but you are going to have to rob some bits off your old bumper. So we're not going to show you how to take your fog lights out because we've covered that in another video. Ian will do the little pointy thing. So we've got that covered. And it's quite straightforward. So we are going to show you now how to take the bits out of this one. So we're going to take this, we'll take the fog light out actually because it's quick enough.
Should we flip it over? Flip it over onto Matt and we'll look at everything we've got to steal.
Yeah, let's have a look at all the steely bits.
So off the front side you need your number plate. Yeah. That's one thing we need to remember, but that can wait till the end because that just gets fitted from the front.
Then we've got this wiring loom. We're going to need the wiring loom. So the wiring loom, that's the plug on it here. We're going to have to disconnect that. And that's got the parking sensors and the fog light connectors. Have I got, that's the fog light one. Yep. And if you've got a camera fitted, it'll have that. So we need to take the wiring loom out. We also need to take out the washer jet mechanism here. So this is the thing that pushes out when you wash your jets and it pops out and squirts water at your headlight washers.
You need the front cover off of that as well, that transfers over.
Okay.
So use the left hand one runs all the way along here, all the way up, but we've taken that one off already because it's the long one, but it's basically the same as the right hand side.
So we're going to go through how to remove this, wash jet and the front cover. We're going to whip out the fog light. We're going to transfer over the piping and the wiring loom onto the new bumper, and then towards the end of the video, when it's all built up, we're going to come back on the car and clip it on. Right, I'm going to grab the camera now, and Ian can do the dismantling because he's done the other side, and we can. Where you start? Up to you, Ian.
Oh, what do we need? T20.
Torx T20.
And a trim tool. I think that's about it.
Are you going to go for washer jet first?
Yeah, let's start with washer jet.
So we'll take the bits off and then we'll go next. So take everything off this bumper.
If you start round this side from the top, so usually the top side of it here, what you can do is you can reach in the back and we should carefully be able to push it forward. Yeah. And then this front cover is held on by these two lugs each side. So there's like two little arms that you've got to spread apart.
Spread them.
To whip that cover off. So it's those two middle ones. You just got to pull them apart gently, and that'll just pull off.
There you go.
So that's ready to
that's
weigh.
Your washer jet. What we got going on?
2 T20 Torx in the top here.
One.
Both the same.
They got big washers on. Let me have a look at one of those. Let's have a little look. See.
Heads on them. I think they're the same as the fog light.
Fog light. Okay. Got them.
And now we should be able to. There's a little. I'll hold it this way. You can see underneath. There's this little tab.
Yep.
That just docks in.
Oh yeah. So it sort of slides back from that then, does it?
You gotta then slide it back, but I wrestled with the other one for ages.
There's no specific clip you find. It just.
Yeah, there's. So what you've got on the wings next to each screw, you've got these two little.
They're not
tabs.
barbed, yeah.
So what you've got to do is, if you look from above, you pull each of those up and then just
slide it back, and it's on a little.
It sits on these little legs. So there's like little stoppers here, and these will stop it sliding back.
Yeah.
But you lift them, slide it back a bit.
Yeah. Should we have that?
So that's. Then on the left hand one, there's a whole series of these that we've got to do.
Yeah.
But on this one, there's only the one. But just get a trim tool down behind them.
I like those little fir tree fixings, are they?
Yeah. Just give it a wiggle out. So yeah, there's a whole series of them on the other side because it's on the long hose.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Right.
We're basically ready to do the opposite. So you just clip it in.
Clip it in.
You've got the two holes there where they both start. Work your way along. Just the reverse.
What's that?
Refitting is just the reverse.
Right, we got him done.
Nice.
Right, what else? We need to whip that fog light out quickly, and then we can have that wiring loom out, can't we?
Yeah. So T20 steel. They look the same.
Yeah, they might be a bit longer. No, they look the same.
Yeah, they're all the same.
They're all the same, yeah. We like it when all the screws are the same. So this will release that little carrier, and then we can whip the fog light out.
Just before I take the last screw out, I'm going to free up all the wiring from this. So use your trim tool again, and just pop.
There's no point in cutting those cable ties. Just
Just
pop all the
release them.
and the connector. There's a little release on that connector, isn't there?
Yeah. So you just press that tab in and pull.
Right. And it's quite clever how they route these wires, these cables on these bumpers. They put just little bits in, and it forms a guide.
Now, there's our hidden parking sensor in there, which I've left till last. So I haven't disconnected that one yet, because it's a bit awkward to do with this bracket in the way.
Oh, yeah.
Because what you've got to do is you've got to lift the grey tab towards you.
Oh, it's a pull, it's not just a spring-loaded thing.
You've got to lift that, lift it up, and then you can press it in.
Yeah.
And lifting it up's really tricky with this bracket in the way.
because you're down a tunnel.
So this bracket, now we've got that free. So the 4 outer screws are to release the whole bracket.
And then
you've got the
3 inner screws.
So what we need to do is you can use the same for these fog light brackets and for the washer jets. Use the same screws, don't need any new screws for that.
To remount on the new bumper.
Remount on the new brackets, and the washer jets just go straight into
Right,
place.
should we whip that whole loom out now? And then untuck that.
So the middle parking sensor again.
And lift that grey.
Lift that bit, and then use that to undo it.
Cool.
And you will need to take these parking sensors with you.
So you might as well.
So we'll come back to them in a minute.
Right, how does that connector hold on there? He's on the same sort of thing, is he? Oh, hold on, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on a 31 again. But that will be your loom.
So that's the loom.
Free and clear.
Yeah, again, you may have a camera mount if you're flash. If you're flasher than us, you'll have a camera. Where's that camera? In the middle there, isn't it?
Right in the centre.
I don't think there's many other options. If you've got park assist, you may well have additional parking sensors in the side flanks here. That's the self-parking trickery. But basically it's the same. Everyone's getting the idea by now. Spread those.
And then, parking sensors. You've got 2 little wings on it. You've got to push out.
And that's your parking sensor. Are all 4 of those the same? I think they are, aren't they? I don't think there's any. Have a look at that one there. Sometimes they have different sensitivity, but they make them a different shape if that's the case. But though they're all the same. So don't worry which one came out of where. That's your parking sensors. You might want to consider repainting those. They get a bit, you can see the paint gets chipped off those. Right.
Especially the middle ones on that matte black section.
Yeah.
Sometimes on these they're all on that middle section, all on the matte black.
So is that all our pillaging done? Are we pillaged out, Ian?
We need these outside parking sensors.
Yes. Yeah, show us that. So the new bumper may or may not come with these. Now these parking sensors, you can actually prise. Is that the best word? Yeah.
They're pretty flexible. They are pretty soft. And they're on.
They're just sticky padded on, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not ultrasonically welded.
So once you get one side going, you can just peel it off. And then you can to get this stuff off, you're best to roll it. So just roll it and clean all the old stuff off. And so we'll supply, if they're not pre-fitted, and if you have to take yours, we'll supply some new adhesive pads for these.
Get busy on the laser.
So you just have to put your new adhesive pad on there. The easiest way is pop your parking sensor in.
Yeah.
And then on the new
it'll
bumper,
line it up then.
But we'll show you that in a second.
Right, are you pillaged? Are you pillaged now?
That should be everything off that we need.
Yeah, we'll do the front number plate later.
Front number plate we can do afterwards. We're not in a rush for that.
Right, that's the dismantling done. We'll get that bumper out of the way. So now we've got to build it up. Now obviously Ian's done a start, which obviously makes the video quicker, and secondly, more importantly, makes it look like we know what we're doing when we don't really. Right, so we've got to be a bit careful with it because we've had it painted, but we've got our little rubbery pad down.
Right, so as we said, this centre section, this unpainted bit, which from the back here runs here, is held in by these 4 screws on the top, and then 2 screws down each side. Now I've put ours back in because it mounts this side grille.
Yeah.
But the one tricky, the catch with this one is you've got to do it from the back.
You insert it from the back.
You put it in from the back, but there's a bottom row of clips underneath this edge.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to put them in
back.
from the
So you have
back.
to go push it in too far and then come back and clip in
towards you.
Got it.
So yeah, it's this bottom row. So hopefully your body shop, if you're getting it painted, will do that for you, and they'll take it off and put it back on.
Yeah.
But if they haven't, that's what you need to do. It goes in from the back, and the top screws go in from behind, but the clips come in from the front.
Got it.
So you kind of got to wiggle it through a little bit.
What are you going to start with? What should we do?
There's our washer jet that you can see. There's where the hose routing runs along.
Yeah.
So we can.
So all the clips are all in there, all ready for it to go.
Yeah, there's already holes. We literally just pop them off, push them back in. So this one, what we do is we line up.
Yeah, you can see that little one, and you hear it click in.
Clicks in.
And then we come around the other side. You've got your 2 little screws, it's doublies. I mean, the clips are pretty well got it, to be fair, haven't they?
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere then, to be honest. Put that back in.
I don't know if they did a base model with halogen headlights. I don't know if they did, but you may not have washer jets if you've got some heinous low spec model.
Right, we can swing that back round, push that into that square that it was in before.
Oh, we've got the 2 of those next to each other now.
It's got
it's got a little
clip
buddy
hold
clip
them
there to
together.
hold them. Yeah, that looks neat.
Just sitting there. Then we gently push this forward again.
Yeah. Right.
So it is spring loaded, so it will be.
Yeah.
You do kind of have to.
Yeah, I'll hold that. I'll hold that motor. You can
get this the right way round because it's got a bit of a taper on it. You can see if I hold that there, it's pointing forwards.
Yeah,
It's the wrong way, so it goes the other way up. Then you just have to spread those legs a little bit.
So why not?
Find where it looses. It's only loose and rattles.
And then if I let that go, it should self-locate back in. Yeah, that's right.
It's nice and flush. It's the right shape.
Woo. Right then. So that's the washer jets done. Right then.
This one off just quickly.
Yeah, so just take the fog light out of its carrier. The new carrier is a slightly different shape. So let me make myself useful. So you would think it's the same at a first glance, but it's not. Ian will hold them up next to each other, and you'll see that they're not the same.
Yeah, so they go that way round. So it's mainly the depth of this leg.
Yeah, and it's a bit shorter there. But you can see they're not the same. So you do need
to make sure you get the
right one. Yeah, which will be the clean
Don't
new
want
one.
that anymore. We want the fog
Fog
light.
light.
We want all of our screws. And that's it.
So what's the trick now? Right, do you want? And the other bits you're going to need. So what order do you want? Do you want all these bits in, Ian? We're going to go full first.
Kind of go. Well, we can do the big mesh first.
But that's what I was thinking. Let's get that in.
Right. So make sure you get these the right way round.
Yeah.
So the fog light sits towards the inside of the car.
Yeah.
So these three go behind that piece.
Ah, which is why you haven't put the screws in. Yeah.
So it kind of has to go in.
Sandwiches in between the front bumper and that grille.
So you've got to kind of pull it back a little bit to give yourself the room to get it in.
A little bit of jiggery pokery.
It's quite a bit of jiggery pokery with these, to be honest.
Yeah.
You can then see all of these little series of recessed mounting points. Now the top ones up here are miles off at the minute and you think it's never going to go.
But you start
That's because this hole right in the middle on this side, there's a peg that you've got to line up to get through.
An alignment thing.
And then you can start working it all together and seeing where it's catching on. And usually, I don't know if you can make out, there's this cut out, this kind of Z cut out at the bottom here.
Yeah.
And you've got these two edges that have to latch in behind them. And so you're fighting yourself with that middle peg and these two notches. You end up kind of fighting against yourself a little bit to get everything in.
Can I hold that one in for you there? You got the bottom in? That looks alright, actually the bottom looks like it's in, doesn't it? I'll hold this in as best I can.
You've got to go review, but yeah, I think that's it. So it's a little bit of a game.
Puzzle.
And then we need some
screws. So this bumper didn't come supplied with screws, but we'll add these to the fitting kit. So Ian's got a little handy pot of screws in. Oh, that might have jiggled out, Ian.
I think we'll
Well, we'll stop the video here because I think Ian needs me helping, but we'll.
It takes a couple of hands, but if you start on the inside edge and work your way out, leave a little bit of slack in the screws probably, just to give yourself a bit of wiggle room till everything's lined up.
Yeah, and then
go around and go back round.
I'll give you an hand holding it all. So we've done the puzzle that's getting that grill in. It did take a bit of fighting, but you just got to work it round.
Yeah, as usual, it's the peg on this side, and then these
triangly pointy bits.
Pointy bits that go back in those corners that they just fight each other as you're trying to do it.
Right, then we've got this little blade that's going to form a little fog light front sort of housing there. That's going to go in, but before we fit it, it's easier to fit the parking sensor holder.
This is the parking sensor holder that we pulled off earlier. We're just going to pop the parking sensor into it, and then we've got this adhesive pad that's shaped that will sit on, same as it did before.
Now you could get an alcohol wipe and clean it, but ours is newly painted, so we're going to be alright. But if you're a professional, or you could get an alcohol wipe, we could blag we've already alcohol wiped it.
We could have. It's too late now though. So yeah, we pop the parking sensor in so that it helps us position it to the hole. And then we can just line that up.
Flush with the front. It doesn't really matter, as long as the front's flush.
As long as the front's flush, it doesn't really matter. It does sit between, there's two little tabs on there that it sits between. Just make sure that's pushed forward and got a nice good adhesion. And that can just stay in and wait until we're done now.
Yep.
So now we get to fit this, and there's 6
clips. Now these are just
clips.
These, if I put my finger behind it, you can just see there's just a ramp on the front of that, and there must be some little mouths that.
There it goes. It docks onto these. I don't know how well you can see them. They're just little uprights that it latches over.
Protrusions. Yeah.
There's 3 more screws at that end.
Right, which we can get from the back.
Which we need from the back, and then there's a peg at this end.
A little pin. He's tied. Put your finger behind him. Yeah. He's a tiny little pin, yeah.
And that goes in the hole in the front bumper.
Yeah, I thought I'd made a hole in the front bumper earlier. It's going, no, that's a location hole.
So it almost wants to go in from this angle and everything go back at once is kind of the aim, but it never quite goes like that, to be honest. So we're just going to try working it. Again, this is
It's a little bit of a puzzle again. It is. All these plastic clip things they're clever, but they are.
Yeah, we want to just make sure that pins in at the front is kind of the key bit.
Yeah.
See?
You're not going to get that in last, are you?
No.
No. I think the pin's there to make it easier for you. Ironically, I think that's supposed to line it. Your pins come out, and you're going to try getting that end in first, and then swing the pin in.
These front two aren't too bad, but these ones are your restricted because these are on an open hole.
Yeah. Those you've got a post box, a letter box. You can only.
And you've got that other pin that end that needs to line up.
And it's all. That's it. That's clicked in. Now watch that pin at the back, then, isn't it?
I might need another set of hands again.
Again, right.
Try and just
we'll go and do puzzle. Right, so we'll come back when we've got that last bit in. There you go. He got it. He didn't need my help. All right then.
So now these front two, the open ones, there's a bit of wiggle room on them to then try and line them up and make sure they're latched in properly.
Yeah. There's still a bit of a gap at this side. It looks like that needs a little bit of it.
We got three screws.
The screws
in that side from the back,
which will pull that in.
You'll probably find there is a clip right in the middle here that you'll probably find that's not quite caught properly, and so that's what's holding it off.
The screws sort of pull it in, eh?
Right, the screws.
As long as we get them in the hole.
If I line them up. Actually, should do.
Try another one.
Trying to make sure they're in there. There we go, that one's in the right place.
Just try and work that clip in, then now it's got the force of the screw pulling it in it.
There's another one at the bottom.
Oh blimey, he's in.
Tucked underneath there, yeah. They've hidden them quite well.
Have another go at that top one. He's getting it.
You should find that's closed up that gap at the front now.
Yeah, that's all super sweet. You can't see it, it's all black and shiny. Sorry, the gap's here. Yep. Right. What are we on next? Wiring loom next.
Then it's fog light we can put back on, which you should know what you're doing right now if you've watched our fog light removal video.
So get the cage onto the...
Use the same screws. 3 in there. You're going to be bored of this bit by now.
Yeah. Everyone's fast forwarding now.
Yeah.
Those 3 in there. I'll grab those 4 screws for you, Ian.
And on the back, and make sure you get this on the right way around. So, flat side, we've got these 2 that sit right next to each other, and the long ones that sit up there. And it should just rest in place.
I'm supposed to rest in peace.
So yeah, this is designed to take...
So it's all the standard fog lights, so you've got no electrical issues, standard parking sensors, standard everything. So it's really just, it's purely a cosmetic change on the front styling. Oh, sorry.
So yeah, if any of your electrics don't work, it's probably because it's not connected properly.
Yeah.
If you have issues or anything, because you should be using all the same
OE,
parts that you
all
had
original.
before. All the stuff that came off your car is going back on your car. Yeah, lube and everything. So.
Yeah, so we've just got the loom to tidy in there, and then we'll have a go at putting it on the car and seeing what the car looks like.
So parking sensors, when you come to refit them, there's a cutout in one side. That's the side the connector goes. Just give it a push and it should just clip in.
Yeah. So that's the 4. So we've done the other 2. So we're only doing this half build, remember? So everything else we've already done.
We've already done the fog light, the
Right,
washer,
start with that connector, like that big connector, I reckon.
The big connector goes on the left-hand side, opposite your washer.
Left hand as you're looking from the inside, but yeah, it is the left-hand side of the car. Is it?
I think ours needs trimming off, to be honest. It looks like they've done 2 square holes.
2 square as opposed to, what do we have on the other one? Let's have a look what we had on the other one. We got 2, which 2 do you reckon it was?
I think it was these here. I think it goes on here.
Right,
2 round holes as opposed to the washer side, which is the 2
square holes. Yeah.
So if you do get one like that, you can probably just trim off one of your.
Yeah, because it's only holding it.
It's only to hold your connector, just to stop it rattling anyway. And just pop that in one of them. Pull that out and move it down to that one there. Oh, I think it should be.
Yeah.
And we go through.
Get that. That's
Don't
the
forget
fog
to
light.
push the grey. The grey.
Oh yeah, you got
in.
that
That's
grey, that little
sensor.
slidey clip. Yes.
Fog light connector. Push it till we hear a click.
And give it a little pull if you need to check it's not there. That is little tabs. All the little locatory bits. I'm gonna keep it all nice. I reckon get all the locatory, get all the clips on before you bother tucking that middle bit. What we got going on there? Yeah.
Hear the click. And that one should have a hole in there. That's not right up too much.
Right, probably better getting the other end in, and then we'll tuck the other bit in. Get the fog light connector on.
Just gotta get it all out bit by bit. So yeah, don't forget your loom's going to do a U shape. So the one right at the very end
is actually the middle one, yeah.
Don't be tempted to come along the middle first.
Yeah.
And then, have we got dots in it?
Have we got dots in it?
We haven't got docking bit on the bottom here, so we're going to have to just pop some cable ties.
We'll put some cable tie mounts. Let's go and grab a couple of cable tie mounts and mount that on. Right, so we've just got some self-adhesive cable ties mounts that you just double-sided tape in there. We could probably add some of those to the fitting kit, couldn't we, Ian? Yeah, 3 of those. And then you just feed the cable tie through like Ian's doing. Go the other way, yeah.
Trouble is we're going the other way.
You're going to get the dead end. Go.
It's not a dead end, there's a hole. It's where the tow eye cover clips in. So just curve it a bit. If you just give the end of the cable tie a curve, it helps it actually feed straight.
Right. So the next thing, so once we've done that and clipped those ends off that, we are ready to lift it onto the car, aren't we? I wonder if anyone's going to walk in the workshop and give us a hand. You reckon that's a 2-man job? And a video.
These 405 ones.
It did go on alright.
If I can get this cable tie done,
Come on, no pressure in.
Other way, get it right around that now.
Put those on, put the cable tie through before you stick them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, there's top tip for today. Don't do it like we do. Easy.
We do know what we're doing.
Look at that. Boof. Cut both those off. Right. So there you go. So that's your bumper all made up if you've just skipped the last 10 minutes. All clipped in. Ready to go. That's it. Ian's just finishing off the tidying up. So your wiring's not, your pipes are all clear. Right. So let's just have a quick look what it looks like from the front before we mount it up. He's looking good. The only trouble with these black cars, it's hard to see the sort of some of the styling, isn't it?
Can't see all the details.
Right. I'll hold this end in you. Where are you going to go? I'm guessing where I'm pointing this camera.
So your washer jets are the bit that you need to guide in first.
Oh. So guide your washer jets in
They're
there.
the first bit that contacts, and make sure this middle tongue is in.
Let's have a look at that middle tongue. Yeah, that little bit, he's got a little look. He's got a little. Whoa! He's.
Get that side down.
Yeah.
Get that tongue in.
Sorry about the dodgy video in here.
Get that in. What could be here?
Right, so yeah, on the side you just tap it into those little docking stations.
You always have to like stretch it up around. Once you've got that side in, you have to kind of stretch it a bit to get it.
Right, we're probably going to finish the video pretty much here. One thing you'll have to do is fit the tow eye cover. That's a bit of a... It should, in theory, slot in. It took a bit of wiggling when we were playing with it earlier. Obviously, then you've got to put your grille in, and then you've got
to do all your bumper fixings. But these should be, if you watch the... This should be the same as original. So you've got all your fittings there. Your fittings up inside your wheel arch should all be there.
You've got to put your wheel arch, because we've got the wheel arches pulled out. Obviously, you've got to reconnect your washer hose. You've got to reconnect your front wiring loom connector there. That's got to go on there. So you've got to do all that. But I think that is enough for this video. Any problems, put them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to cover those. All right, so good about that. That's the 2013 SVO front bumper upgrade. And just hold the front tow eye cover's got like a funky grille design in it. We won't fit it, but that completes the look. Gives you a front sort of lip spoiler thing. But there's a load of clips on it. It's a bit of a wrestle to fit in. So good luck with that.